Welcome to Washington D.C, home to Amtrak's second busiest hub, Union Station. In today's video, we are taking the Capitol Limited to Chicago, Illinois in a Superliner. However, this route is now modified and called the Floridian for the foreseeable future. But this journey will take us 764 miles, crossing the 6 different states. Come aboard with me to see the Roomette, food, and everything this train has to offer. Let's go! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Union Station in Washington, D.C. Today we're taking Amtrak on the Capitol Limited to Chicago, Illinois. It is hot as Hades out here. Summertime love. We can go inside, have a look around, get a giant bag checked in, and see what we can get into before the train leaves with us, not without us. Union Station is a hub for a lot of commuter trains and bus routes. Greyhound, Flix, and then MARC train. Opened in 1907, this 117-year-old train station has 96-foot ceilings made of plaster and 23-karat gold leaf. There are 3 ways you can check in for your train. On your phone, these kiosks, or the ticket counter where you can drop off your bags. So Amtrak is super strict if you're over 50 pounds in your checked bag. Rightfully so. Airlines will charge you. Amtrak doesn't even bother with it. So we had to remove a few pounds out of our bag. Now they're in our carry-on bags. Let's have a little wander around. We're in Roomette sleeping car, and I do believe that gets us into the Washington Lounge here. So we're gonna go find that. But first, let me show you some of the food options this train station has to offer. One being at the First Street entrance, and then at the basement, there's a lot of food places, huge food court. There's also a Walgreens down in the basement if you need last minute essentials. Sometimes I recommend snacks because if you're not in the sleeping car, you won't get a meal. You have to pay for your own meal in the what I call the dorm cafe. This train station also has a lot of retail that you can wander around and purchase. Not just knick-knack stuff. You got designer shoes, clothing, and make you look fresh. As you make your way through the corridor to find the Amtrak gates, there's plenty of seating and more food options available. As you're making your way to the Metro Lounge, it is tucked away on the ground level next to Gate D. You'll pass through these double doors, show your boarding ticket, and sit and enjoy the amenities until time to board. And speaking of amenities, here's what the lounge has to offer. A coffee machine, a refrigerator full of drinks, and lots of chips and cookies to munch on. I opted for a cappuccino to boost the caffeine in me. Even though it was decently busy, there was still plenty of seating all around for singles and couples alike. There are plenty of departure monitors to let you know when your train is boarding. And once that's announced, sleeper car passengers which are in the lounge board first. We are lined up and escorted through. As I'm walking up, I noticed something different and missing on this train. The sightseeing lounge car. Now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Was I just unlucky that day, or did they take the lounge car off the Capitol Limited? After a lengthy walk, I finally got to my sleeper car. Showed my ticket, and on board I go. There are a few rooms on the lower level, but most of the rooms for the Roomettes are on top. Be careful, these hallways are very narrow, and here we are at my Roomette. Room dimensions are 3 feet 6 inches wide by 6 feet 6 inches long, which is about 22.5 square feet. Now let's get settled in for a departure. Leaving right on time as planned. As you leave Union Station, you pass through the train yard filled with MARC trains, Amtrak trains, and the very frequent DC Metro trains passing you by. You also pass through the DC Metro maintenance yard where you see plenty of Metro rail cars parked. Let's have a look at this menu provided in the room. Choose what we want and let the room attendant know. This was more so flexible dining instead of traditional dining, which kind of disappointed me. However, all meals included, and you get 1 alcoholic beverage per meal. This is your Roomette room tour. Starting over my right shoulder, you have your dials, your air conditioning, a plug, and I recommend some kind of like extra plugs. Get a night light. They give you a great pillow, a lot of water. You have this secret closet because I didn't know it was here at first, and then at the top, towels. Down below to my left, you have a trash can. box of Kleenexes, the air vent. You can close it, open it, make sure your curtain is closed. There's Velcro, there's a lock, and this lock usually is held by this. So make it go snug all the way down. Here's your bunk bed track. You can do it, or they will do it later on. There's a handle right here, but we'll get into that when it becomes nighttime. Now let's check out this tray table. Comes out. Ooh, if you're too tall, your legs like mine will hold it up. Folds out. You have this unique checker chessboard, and if you brought pieces, you can have fun with it. Safety card, and then your menu. And last but not least, in between your legs is enough storage maybe for a backpack or a small carry-on suitcase. After a little under 30-40 minutes, you stop in Rockville, Maryland. Most of the views, any views, will be coming out of this window right here. Ah, that's much better. A good place to store your shoes. Right underneath the seat. After traveling about 45 minutes, the landscape drastically changed. We weaved our way through the forests, following the Potomac River to where it meets up with the Shenandoah River, right at the border of West Virginia and Maryland. In Harper's Ferry, such a beautiful little town, nice little buildings, a little rockiness on the river. With a population of 268 people, here are some interesting facts you didn't know you needed to know about Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. It is that the site of John Brown's famous raid on the arsenal that ignited the Civil War. It is the headquarters of the Appalachian Trail, and it was the arrival of the first successful American railroad. It's about 5:45. Got the shoes back on. Let's head to that little dining car and see what dinner is all about tonight. Make sure you hit your lock. And don't worry, you can't lock yourself out. For dinner, I chose the chicken parm with broccoli, a roll, a salad, beer, soft drink, and dessert. And I must say that these butter cakes on Amtrak are awesome. However, they have brownies too. Not too shabby. They've kind of upgraded their food. Welcome to Martinsburg, West Virginia. As we pulled in while eating, I noticed a round structure in ruins that resembled a train turntable, aka a roundhouse. After doing some digging, I found that it was part of the B&O Railroad built in the 1840s. However, during the Civil War, Stonewall Jackson was given strict orders to stop all train activity to go against the B&O Railroad and the Union Army, so it was burned down, losing many locomotives and hundreds of rail cars. To this day, there's only one roundhouse left, and it is now a historical landmark. Good and full. Food review was solid for Amtrak. They've stepped up their game, giving Via Rail a little run for their money. Just kidding. Via Rail still has it beat. But as we wind through, make our way to Cumberland, Maryland, we're following the zigzagginess of the Potomac River and beautiful sights. The sun is going down, so the light is still good. Get cozy and watch some shows that are downloaded on the phone. I get really excited, like most train enthusiasts, when I see a caboose out in the wild. For those of you that might be sitting in coach and wonder what the menu is like, here we go. This is the cafe car on Capitol Limited. Prices aren't too shabby, and I do joke, but with some seriousness, about it being dorm room food. Everything is made with the microwave. Now that we have a couple drinks in our hands, some snacks, time to get cozy and watch some recorded shows on our phones. I tell you, sometimes you just don't know what you'll see on the rails. My inner aviation nerdness kicked in when I saw Pan Am's logo on this boxcar. As the sun slowly began to set behind the hills, also known as the Appalachian Mountains, we pulled into Cumberland, Maryland. This stop was just long enough for people that smoke to get off, or those that want to stretch their legs, and then we're on the move again. Known as Maryland's Queen City, it was an early gateway to the West. Today, it is a bustling arts center, popular stopover for cyclists using the trail network. Let's go get us a second round of action. A little bumpy, a little squirrely. You can kick it and use your hands. Party in the room. Get that Amtrak card, it's really good. 25% off, helps offset some of the costs. More info will be below. Let's check out the shower, what is offered on a sleeper car. First thing to know, it's on the bottom level of the Superliner. Make sure to lock it, otherwise unwanted visitors. Conditioner, shampoo, towels. How you doing? Got the goodies. Here is your shower. Do what you think is necessary. Wear sandals, wear flip-flops, or anything to keep your feet clean, but do what's best for you. When you shower, and then hit the sack for a little bit until we get to Pittsburgh. So, about to knock out. Or you put the bed down. That handle, hold it until it gets to the very bottom notch. Pull till you hear click. Up here is the mattress pad for the bed below, another pillow, 2 blankets, 1 for each bed, and then extra netting for your valuables and whatever else you want to hang on to up here as this train's rocking and throwing me around. But as we say that, you must put these hooks in. 2 hooks. One over here, one on the other side of the fan, and hope to God that this doesn't let you fall out. But that's how you put the bunk down on the Superliner. So we're in Pittsburgh. Let's see if I can get off and take a breather. I decided to take a walk to the front of the train, get some exercise, and to get a good look at this engine. Take the opportunity to get off in Pittsburgh, stretch your legs, smoke a cigarette, do what you need. They pick up quite a few passengers, but make sure you pay attention to the time. However, it's almost midnight. Got a few shots of the train engine onto the rest of the train cars. Good night. See you in the morning. Actually, let's get back in the car. Alrighty, thank you. There you go. I got settled into bed, but in a few hours, the train would come to a screeching halt. In the very early hours of the morning, in Sebring, Ohio, a man was too close to the tracks, and unfortunately, the train hit him when he made the attempt to cross the tracks, and the majority of everyone on board slept right through this, and we arrived in Cleveland, Ohio. And not knowing a clue what went on, here's how I was that morning. Somewhere along the line, in the middle of the night, good morning, we got really delayed. Now we're 3 hours behind schedule. Kudos to Amtrak and the crew on board for keeping everything respectable and hush-hush. After laying there for a bit, we rubbed our eyes, got presentable as we pulled into Elyria, Ohio. The coffee station was fresh and hot. Off to breakfast we went. I opted for the pancakes and sausage, which gave me McDonald's vibes, and she opted for potatoes, eggs, and sausage links. Soon Lake Erie came into view, which meant our next station stop is Sandusky, Ohio, home to the famous Cedar Point amusement park. It was such a beautiful morning that the sky just reflected right off of a calm lake. Off in the distance, you could see the tops of the roller coasters at Cedar Point. 18 roller coasters. As we roll into Toledo, Ohio, you cross over the Maumee River with a great view of downtown Toledo and the Anthony Wayne Bridge, also known as the High Level Bridge.
Good morning, everyone. We are coming into Toledo, Ohio. Train, obviously, as we all know, is running behind the schedule. I only gonna open the door only to the train passengers that are scheduled to the train here. Everybody else might stay on board.
So after that somewhat delicious breakfast, actually it was a little better than some other trains and cruise ships I've been on. Once you get back to your cabin, or your roomette, the tenant has already put your bunk bed away, and the lower bunk are turned back into seats. As we leave Toledo, Ohio, there is roughly 3 hours and change left of this journey to Chicago, Illinois. Sometime before Waterloo, Indiana, I came across this grass runway. I imagine it's used for crop dusting planes. Elkhart, Indiana really caught my attention as we pulled in, and I saw some amazing old train cars, engines, and especially the steam engine and caboose. Part of my transportation enthusiast moments is I wish I could see the train cars of the past in their glory days. So we just pulled into our final station stop for Chicago of South Bend, Indiana. You also enter the Central Time Zone. Next up is Chicago, an hour and a half duration roughly. As we pass through Gary, Indiana, a very industrial part of the final stretch, let's talk about the train journey on the Capitol Limited from D.C. to Chicago. Let me start off by saying that most train journeys I love. Amtrak could step it up with more traditional dining experiences for the long-haul routes in the Central and East Coast. I dream of the day I get the good dining experience in the dining car, that being a little fancier and a 3-course meal. But that's my only partial negative thought. The rest of this trip was amazing and great. My girlfriend and I enjoyed the roomette, the attendant was good, and aside from the delay, no other hiccups. And a fun fact, a lot of times, trains are not on time. So be careful with whatever reservations or plans you make after a train. If you made it this far, I can't thank you enough. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Hit that like button for me, subscribe if you're not already, share this journey with your friends and family, and welcome to Chicago. See you in the next adventure. Deuces.